Pale Oracle. Oh wow, Pale Oracle followed me. Nice. Jeffrey Clark followed me. Hell yeah, guys. Hell yeah. Alright guys, we are here over at the Trans Lifeline booth. Give these guys a look up. We're all human beings, guys, no matter what gender. Support these guys and gals. How y'all doing?
Doing well, thanks. How are you?
What's your Twitter? Twitter. Twitch. God, I'm so...
Fine, I'm Ferociously Steph.
Ferociously Steph?
Yeah.
Rainbow Kitten. No E's. 2 N's.
Yo.
There you go.
Your Stoner Radio?
No. Stoner Radio is my friend,
Okay.
which is Stoner Gamer. STZeroNERGAMER. That's how he says it on his Twitch.
Yeah. You're the real TightSpot.
Yeah, the real TightSpot. I like that name, don't you? Everybody does. Everybody's like, the real TightSpot. What does that mean? No, it's not. It's not provocative, but it's. Everybody thinks it is, but it's because when you're playing Among Us, first beginning, you had to come up with a nickname and stuff. I'm like, New Music Inferno doesn't sound right because that's my name of my podcast that I do, one of them. And so I decided, since you're in a tight spot in Among Us by either lying or being a crewmate or trying to figure it out, why not call yourself TightSpot?
Yeah.
So,
okay, so you're TightSpot.
Yeah.
But you're the real.
Yeah, I'm the real TightSpot. I'm the real one.
Yeah.
I'm real.
Like with the real TightSpot.
See, when you come to my chat, I'm real with you. I'm not fake. I'm not like some douchebag that just, whatever. But I'm real with people. I'm friendly, and like our community's tight, and it's like a cool spot to hang out with. So it's kind of like everything involved, you know.
Yeah.
But there's my card. Yes, Spartan fan, we're back live. We're back live. Everybody's like, yo, there's my card. Rainbow Kitten. You guys have a good one. I'm going to work with you guys. I talked to some of the people that were here the other day, but I'm going to work with you guys in the near future. So you guys have a good one, all right? Have a good one. Thank you, Spartan fan. Thank you. So we're back. There's a wrestling group that we're going to go to here in a little bit, guys, which is going to be cool. How you doing, bud?
Good, how are you?
Good. This is my card. I'm the real TightSpot. Where are you guys from? Wyoming? Nice. Go Cowboys. Right? The university?
Yeah.
What do you stream?
Pretty much everything.
So this is the geek that...
Geek slays.
I said the geek that slays.
I mean...
Well, that's true.
Sometimes.
He slays.
Yeah.
He slays in multiple ways.
Oh, yeah.
The ladies love him. The guys love him.
I don't know about that either.
You don't know about
Nobody
that?
loves me. No.
Nobody loves you? How many followers do you have, bro?
No idea.
Well,
Off the top of my head, I have no idea.
this guy, Spartan fan, go follow him right now. Do you stream too, bro?
Not yet.
Not
Do
yet?
it eventually.
What is your stream name?
I've only streamed like twice so far, but
Wonder Weapon 21. Go follow him.
it's a fun weapon.
So you're going to the wrestling meetup?
Yeah.
I'll be up there
Let's look.
also. So.
You know
Nice.
Effie? You know Effie?
I don't.
Follow Effie Lives right now.
Whoa, that's aggressive. That's aggressive. Okay.
You'll love Effie. Effie's an independent wrestler from Atlanta.
Okay.
He wrestles for GCW.
Okay.
He's actually wrestling today against JT Dunn at PW Wrestling or something like that. It's on Fight TV.
Okay.
You have Fight Plus?
I don't.
It's worth the trial so you can check out some of the GCW stuff. Plus, you know Speedball Mike Bailey?
Who?
Speedball Mike Bailey.
Okay.
He wrestles for Impact.
Yeah.
He wrestled at Will Ospreay last night at Bound for Glory.
Did he? Nice.
Yeah, it was a great match.
Yeah,
So,
I definitely wasn't able to watch any of the Bound for Glory stuff.
I wasn't
Too busy
either.
with all this.
I was surprised that Alexander didn't win the title back. But
Yeah.
it happened. So I'll see you guys up there.
Yep.
You go to the wrestling one too?
Probably not.
You a wrestling fan? Nah.
I'm trying to make him be one, but he
Trying to
doesn't.
force me into it.
He doesn't
Make
want
him
to
watch GCW
Okay.
together. And then you be like, why aren't they in Wyoming? Why don't they come to Wyoming more? They're amazing, great.
Nobody goes there.
They do death matches. There's a lot of light tubes. A lot of good shit. But you guys have a good one, all right? Thanks for taking time out to be on my stream. the main lobby. Everybody comes and hangs out a little bit. Oh my God, there's Mario and Peach. Mario and Peach in the house, guys. Mario, I saw Luigi earlier. Now I see the whole crew. Look, it's Peach and Mario and Noble.
I'm back again.
Newbie Taco's back. Yeah, we saw him last night. Hey, how was your lunch?
Oh, good.
A panini?
Chicken pesto.
Chicken pesto. Hell yeah.
Well,
Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your days here. All right. Have a good one. Broncos up 9-3. Love the hair.
And for 20 people, at least one of them is
TwitchCon. There you go. Shit. Come on. I'm gonna go back up. Upstairs. I think the thing starts soon. 3:30, I think.
just tell the waiter, just tell the waiter how much.
Yes, I did the superhero college already. Read. I'm going. I already did that. I already did the superhero. Did Doritos. I got the bag yesterday. Escape from Tarkov. I did not, unfortunately. There's a lot of people there, and I really don't play that. But yeah, that's there. I'm gonna actually go to this wrestling panel here. Which is going to be cool to do because, why not? We're wrestling nerds. I don't remember where it is exactly. What if CM Punk shows up? I don't think CM Punk's showing up at the TwitchCon there, Spartan fan. I do not think he is. I don't know why he would. But oh, he was at the Blackhawks opener yesterday, which they lost. Yeah, everybody's unmasked. No one's some people are wearing masks, but hardly anyone is. He goes to Comic-Con. Why not? He's got time. Yeah, he's got time because he isn't working for anyone now. Yes. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a mask guy, but this is so many people. Yeah, it is. But I think it's more of an open space. Reed, could you do me a favor and download the TwitchCon app real quick and tell me what room? Oh, Ace still did? Wow. Tell me what room that is. Yeah, I know. I saw that. I saw that they're going to be TNA again. And they're coming back here January 13th. 14th. I'm going to try to go. 13th and 14th. I know it's like 2-something because it's on the second floor. The partner lounge is upstairs. should have had that written down in a book, so I didn't have to like ask you, and I'm sorry. Thank you, Peril Oracle, Referee Clark, The Dirty Casual with the bits earlier, Riding Waves, I Heart Me You, Warrior 3013, Detect Magic, XLX _ TV, TTV, Young Pun Pun TV, Piano Ryan, all for the follows. On our way to 1,500, guys. On our way to 1,500. Yes, it's like at Zod, what's going on? So I'm off Tuesday. So I work every day except Tuesday next week. Cool. So guys, expect some more shit for me, like 3:30 I think. 3:30, 4 o'clock. Oh, it's 3:20 right now. 3:20 right now. But I did get to meet Evan J. Stern. I didn't want the smoke hot. I had to get. I wasn't gonna try to. Thank you for the shout out for Zot there, Spartan fan. Zot, hope you're doing well. I like this charger though. If anybody wants to just help pay for it instead of me sending it back, it was $20. I'm just saying, you don't have to, guys. Because I told my wife I was gonna send it back, but it works a whole hell of a lot, and I like it. And if I keep on going to these cons, or if I go like more in real life stuff, I kind of need this. NFL, Denver's up 15-3. Ooh. Steelers are down 7, guys. Steelers are down 7. I think it's like 3:30. 3:30 to 4:30 is the wrestling thing, I think. I just don't know what room it is. I can't remember. Still looking? That's cool. Yeah, I'm just letting you know. I'm not worried. I'm up here on the second floor. The second floor is not that huge. Pez liked my video. Yeah. Pez, if you're here. Jimmy Fun loves you. You had hot dog straws, right, Pez? Yeah, go Red Wings. Beat the Flames. Turning Hill or something. It's on Sunday's schedule. Yeah, Turning Hill. Yeah, it's okay. Hey, it's okay, Reed. It's my fault. I didn't write the room down to remember it. I've been talking to people. Everybody check out M2PM. M2PM. M2P2. Remember when Kyle Petty was an NWO member? Yeah, briefly. He was a cameo He was a celebrity member. $213 to $215. Oh, so okay, I'm on the wrong end. Haha, let's go. Thank you, Reed. Reed, you're the man. I owe you. Steelers tied up in the fourth. Hell yeah, let's go. 17 all. Let's go. Beat those Rams. Come on, black and yellow. Black and yellow all day. Black and yellow. Can we do it? Let's go meet some fellow wrestling nerds. That's what we're gonna do. We are going to meet some fellow wrestling nerds while I wear my Effie shirt. Reed, did you see Effie retweeted it? He's like, yes, do it. It's my Kirby friend.
Yeah.
She lives in Vegas.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
It's Dream Note Princess. She's a big Kirby fan.
Well,
I met her.
Nintendo fan, but
Nintendo.
I play a lot of Nintendo games.
Nice. I'm heading to the wrestling meetup.
I'm just walking around. My friends were at a panel. I'm trying to find what panel they were at, though.
Oh, they should answer their texts.
Yeah, I'm gonna double check right now.
All right, enjoy.
All right,
Have a
see
good
ya.
one. Yep, see ya. I know you don't know any of these streamers. Everybody does it. Like, wait, hold on. You said, yo, Soy, where you at, bro? I'm at the convention center right now. Well, you know where that is. 213 or 215. It's right here. Like what time? What time, yo, Soy? Let me know. No, Twitter has too many tweets. There's like 3 live wrestling shows right now. Is this the wrestling one?
Yes.
Nice. We're in. Yeah. Look at this. We're gonna go live with Referee Clark. Yo. Everybody's Referee Clark from First Pro Wrestling out of Minnesota. You guys know him. He knows Effie.
Yeah.
This is great. Effort. Boo! Yeah. This is the right place. I love the Godfather hat. Look at that guy. Look at this guy. Godfather here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again to jump aboard the whole train. Oh, Reed says hi.
Oh, hey. What
Yeah.
up, Reed?
I did, Reed. He said hi to you. Look, he's right there. Of course. Wrestling fans are always fun. Especially if you're a fan of Effie.
Effie is daddy.
Aw, I got it on my Twitch. Yeah! Eli Drake. Yes. That was perfect.
No notes.
Just did it. That's just a fact. It's all trolls. All Reed's watching the Effie match. Oh, cool. Yeah. So
Hello, wrestling fans.
yeah.
I was a little nervous this being on Sunday. I was like, I was going to be so drained from the con this weekend, but you guys have come with the energy, and I really appreciate it. I hope everyone's had a good time this weekend. Welcome to Turning the Heel, an inside look at streaming and wrestling and the worlds combining, clashing. I've been requested to let Sam come up here and do what he does for the introduction, so I'm going to let him take it away.
Usually I have this written down, but welcome everyone to Turning the Heel Pro Wrestling Community. I am Mike the commentator. Thank you for joining me live from the Give Please Theater in the Las Vegas Convention Center. Thank you, Vern, for the introduction. Santi, would you love to introduce yourself?
Hi, buddy. My name is Santi, the host of Wrestling is Cool, and I'm like on the TikTok algorithm probably.
Alicia?
Hey. I'm Alicia. I'm part of Girls Play, and I'm just a real big wrestling fan, I'm going to be honest. I don't know how I got up here.
Wheezy, let's go!
Hello, my name is Wheezy. Or really, Alexis is my actual government name, but we'll see you call me Wheezy. Yeah, I also love wrestling, women in wrestling.
Oh, what's up? I'm E. I'm a last minute build, but just like you guys, I'm a fan of the business and happy to be here. So yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I did want to say a few things before we actually get started. So this has been quite the having to put together everything. I've loved doing this for the past 5 months. In fact, when I applied for this panel, I was not expecting to get it, and I said, if I was going to get the panel, I was going to work harder than I'd ever have, and I did. I started making overlays every time there's a new pay-per-view. I always make a new overlay every Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, AEW, even shows I don't do anymore. Even once I do them 3 weeks in advance. They're kind of like they rotate, so like the logos will rotate around the border. Yes, that's cool. But I want to give a shout out to those who couldn't make it. Heel Josh was originally on the panel, and he was a huge part in helping me put the speaker deck together in the beginning. In fact, the LGBTQ slide is all him, and I do have a few quotes that he left me when we had our conversation, so I will bring this up when we get there. But thank you everybody for being here. We're going to get started now.
Yeah, let's go.
Just a quick side note, you know why I hate karaoke? Is because the person that usually goes before me is incredible, and then I don't want to do it anymore. All right, let's get into this. Feel free.
A huge shout out to my dad, who's here right there.
Woo!
So, he's been a huge influence on me and with Twitch and everything. There was a few times like, I think I'm gonna give up. I think I'm gonna quit. My mom, on the other hand, when I said to my mom, she's like, yeah, you should just quit. She was always just a little bit of that in it. So my dad was like, let's figure out what we can do to get you back on top. And since then, it's been a great ride, and we're here right now. So a huge shout out to him. And I want to thank Turner from the Twitch team for giving my dad a 3-day free pass. Because if you say my dad was disabled, my dad would thank you so much.
Yeah!
Alright, let's jump right in. What do you guys love most about wrestling? What got you into it?
Alright, okay, I'm trying to think. What do we love about pro wrestling? We love the gimmicks? Yeah!
Yeah!
It gets me every time.
What?
That's the stuff we love. It's what keeps everything It's what keeps everything catchy, you know. There's something for everybody in pro wrestling, and I think that's truly about what this panel is all about, like the diversity in pro wrestling, as we'll get to that later, but there truly is something for everybody, whether you're an AEW fan, an Impact Wrestling fan,
TNA.
GCW. Oh, that's right, it's now back to TNA. That's right, it's in fact come January.
Hard to Kill, January 13th here in Vegas.
Yeah, well,
It's just cool, and it's the reason why I decided to call the podcast Wrestling is Cool, because like when I was thinking of like podcast names, there's, you know, you hear all like these super specific names like Busted Open, Straight Shoot, whatever it might be. Like wrestling's just cool, and at the end of the day, like I think that defines why I love wrestling so much. Whether it's, like I said, the storylines, the moves that are happening, like we're literally seeing real life superheroes in action doing all of the stunts by themselves, no second takes, and it's just cool from beginning to end. I've loved it for the past 22 years, and I just don't see myself stopping watching wrestling ever. It's also just something so good to meet other people that have the same passion and the same love. Because, like, for me especially, like, when I look at my social circle, like, I don't have anybody that is in love with wrestling. So, like, when I run into individuals such as yourselves, like the panelists that we have here today, it's just cool. That's it.
Hey. For me, I think getting into wrestling was a lot about realizing that you can push yourself, your body to the limits, that you can do anything. And I watched it when I was really, really young, and then ended up coming back to it around high school, and really, really fell in love with the new character developments of the new generation of wrestling. And I think for me, it's really just, it's cool specifically to see other women being fucking cool. It's not easy to be cool. And I think watching wrestling really, really kind of made me more comfortable in my own skin, more comfortable to be a woman that's weird and does weird things. And overall, watching wrestling in general kind of helped me ground myself, which sounds weird. But truly, I've never found a community like the internet wrestling community. I've never found anything quite like it.
I was raised by a single dad in the 90s and early 2000s. I am an only child, and I am the only daughter. Dad did not get a son, but I don't want to say he raised me as a son, but I mean, I just got into all the things that he was into. So at that time, that's what we were into. I continued to watch it up until probably middle school, and then took a hiatus from like high school into early college. You know, being a woman in college, not a lot of other women liked what I liked, and I didn't have anyone to share that interest with, so I fell off. And then the Shield came back to WWE in around 2014, 2015, around there. That's when I came back, and I've been hooked ever since. I'm definitely a theater kid. I'm also an athlete, so I think that wrestling is the perfect combination of the two, and I think that's what really keeps me hanging on to it. It's, you know, soap operas for athletes and theater kids.
Yeah, that's perfectly said, the soap opera part, because like for me it's the rivalries, right? Like I'm huge on the rivalries, and like how they do, like, I don't want to sound like an idiot, but like the world building within like the organizations are crazy. Like my favorite rivalry of all time is like Stone Cold and The Rock, and like sometimes you see them like even like team up, remember when they had to like go against like the NWO and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, it all kind of weaves and comes back to each other before they have the final encounter at WrestleMania. Like nowadays, like Cody and Roman, I think they got something really good with that one. Like they're not giving it to us all at once. So just kind of like that story building and rivalries. That's something I really appreciated about it, and it does have that soap opera feel. So I used to make fun of my mom for watching like Days of Our Lives, but I'm doing the same damn thing. I don't regret it one bit.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm sure a lot of you guys share the same sentiment. Help me out here and explain what is IWC.
The internet wrestling culture. It's Sandy kind of alluded to it earlier, and how it can be like a bloody war. Yeah. And so there's a lot to go on about that. You know, it's a really big subject. So social media really doesn't allows wrestling fans to communicate with each other, but sometimes that doesn't always go in the most professional and loving manner, which is what you see whether it's WWE fans going at it, or people just attacking somebody, or a company, or the owner of a company arguing like a fan, which is a whole different story. Not saying a name. That's beside the point. Yeah, there's just people use the internet for different things, and when it comes to wrestling fans, how they interact with each other, sometimes it's great. You have those communities that do love each other, that do support each other in whatever they're doing. then there's others that will just bash everything, and that all comes really back to jealousy. That's really where I'll put it. That don't want to switch to like a whole psychology subject, so I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, the IWC is like the best and the worst that wrestling has come. And I think that's the best way that I can put it. It's the best because it allows wrestling fans who I truly believe many wrestling fans feel alone in terms of their wrestling fandom because they just don't have those wrestling fans immediately like right next to them, like how an NBA fan or an NFL fan would. So it allows them to find those people with common interests, common likes, to be able to geek out about the thing that they love, which is professional wrestling. Unfortunately, the anonymity of the internet also just opens it up for the biggest cesspool that there is. Oh, you cannot say one bad thing about anything related to wrestling without the super fan of that one thing coming at you like you just committed work. That's the internet wrestling community in a nutshell. And out of all of the different places that you can access the internet wrestling community, it's diverse. So there's Twitch, there's TikTok. The worst place is Twitter. Wrestling Twitter. Don't do it, kids.
I love Twitter. I really love Twitter.
I love her personality. Who cares?
That's fair. No, yeah, we're not calling it that, first of all.
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing is how heated and passionate the community is, especially on the internet. Like if I told you right now, there's someone in this room that hates your favorite wrestler, and you have rage right now, right? But then it's on the internet, right? So like the internet is like so many people. So like you can tweet your hot take, you can tweet I love this wrestler, and someone's like they're the worst person in the world. And I love that like you get the conflicting emotions of like I'll say like I really love this pay-per-view, and then someone's like that was the worst pay-per-view I have ever seen, and you're like what? Yeah, okay. I just love that there's so many different opinions, and there are respectful ones and there are not respectful ones, and you know I'm also quite a big fan of fan cams. So, Rhea Ripley's on my TikTok a lot. So, you know, the community, it feeds you good.
I have a love-hate with it. I really do. You guys are really mean sometimes. when you make, wrestling content as much as I do, and we really shouldn't read the comments, honestly, but I've just deduced that I am always going to be wrong about something, and just getting completely comfortable with that, because we do all have our own opinions, and we're entitled to have our own opinions, but it's when we get really disrespectful about it, and being like, oh, it's your girl, you don't know anything. Hi, thank you. Sir, like, I don't know what you say to these people, but it's also the one place where you can find people that like the thing that you like, and if you're anything like me, there's not a lot of people around me that like what I like, so you turn to the internet to find the people that like the silly little things that people do in the ring. So I just really am grateful for it, because it gave me a space to exist and to feel like I belong. And I think for those of us that are not internet trolls, we probably feel the same.
I'm a reformed internet troll. I can admit that. And I blame that because back in the day, this might be a deep cut to some of you, I used to watch a lot of YouTube and a lot of like the wrestling commentators like Sean's View Entertainment and Wrestling Jesus. Like these are just guys who, they were horrible. I should not have put it in my mind. But actually funny, I actually kind of came around to like seeing different views and different takes via Twitter, because like I realized a lot of my friends were actually like tweeting and talking about the shows that I would just casually watch, because I didn't realize like it was so, because I'm really in the game, I do a lot of Smash Bros, but I didn't realize there were so many unique wrestling fans in that space too. So that's how I kind of came to connect with a lot of them, and even like we would, like the Sunday after like Championship Sunday, we'd catch a pay-per-view, we'd catch the tail end of it, watching in somebody's room. So definitely the internet is very toxic, but for me, it probably helped keep my level high, because I got to connect with more people in my space about it. And I'm a full troll.
Have you guys done like Discord watch parties with your friends?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we don't always go to like we'll watch like a top 8 finals for one day, and then like the next day or like later on that day we'll be like, is anybody gonna watch the pay-per-view? Like, yeah, I got kicked out. Hop on in. You know what I mean? So, like, all the time, it's great.
All right, guys. social media is so polarizing. It's nice to hear the wrestling community is about the same way. So we talked a little bit earlier about how we found love for wrestling in our childhood. I was similar to that. I know you guys, maybe it fell off, but explain how pro wrestling is on the rise once more.
So pro wrestling really is on the rise. And, it's had its ups and downs the last few years, and it's been really interesting to see, AEW was up, WWE was down during the pandemic when it was a Thunderdome. They kicked me out of the Thunderdome for booing somebody I had on my t-shirt. Yeah. For cheering somebody I had on my t-shirt who was supposed to be booed. I was wearing a Roman Reigns t-shirt, and they're like, you gotta boo him. And I cheered them. They were very strict for those who got to be a part of the Thunderdome at the time. Very odd time, but now, with wrestling, it's truly on the rise again. There's new ownership, or not new ownership, there's new head of creative in WWE, and it's been going really well. There's a really bright future. WWE's done really well financially with every show since Triple H has taken over creative, which I like looking at the numbers. Similar to some people, but I look at it from a different perspective. But the financial part's great, the numbers showing up at the shows, and seeing who's showing up to what companies, Edge now going by his real name, Adam Copeland, heading over to AEW, or Cody Rhodes returning last year to WWE. Absolutely some of the most wildest things you never thought were going to happen after things that were said about companies or company loyalty. And I look forward, just to seeing what continues to go on. 90,000 tickets for the first weekend for WrestleMania 40. That's wild. And WrestleMania 40, that's a big accomplishment. And then AEW All In was huge. What was it? I want to say 80,000 fans in attendance at Wembley Stadium. The biggest show that's been done in pro wrestling in a long time. That's outside of WWE. That is a shot of the Wembley Stadium for All In. Absolutely a beautiful scene.
Alright, let's get into a little bit of storytelling in wrestling. Importance of storytelling, setting it up, setting the stage.
Anybody else want to start this one? Then we got the chance to speak on the last topic.
Yeah, I can jump in on this one. If it's, you don't have storytelling, then you just have dudes and gals just grapple with each other for no reason. So you need storylines in pro wrestling for me to be interesting. I think it's great to have fantastic 7-star matches, Dave Meltzer, Tokyo Dome style. But if there isn't, for me, a storyline, it's tough for me to truly get invested. That's to me that's the hook, and what happens in the ring is that's really the meat of the product. But I need to get in somehow, and I need to find something to care about. I need to know why I need this guy to lose. I need to know why I want this guy to win. Why do I care that Cody should finish the story, right? Because he's telling me he has to finish the story. No, I need to know the backstory of his dad. I need to know the path that he took from AEW to WWE for us to truly care. Storytelling in wrestling, to me, is the single most important aspect of professional wrestling, and I believe genuinely that the in-ring work comes second.
Absolutely agree with that. Storytelling. So I am a part of a pro wrestling school back in Baltimore. It's called Maryland Championship Wrestling. Some of you may know it. It's a local independent promotion.
Yep.
So I'm a backstage correspondent there as well as a student. So one thing that they taught me about, even more, when you hear about it from the person who's running it, not to break the curtain, pull the curtain back a little bit. But when I talk to the owner, when he's talking about the importance of storylines, you want people to care about the wrestlers. You don't have to win the matches to get over. The people start caring about you. A sympathetic babyface, if you get yourself over it, you can lose all these matches, but if you put your heart and soul into it, and you know who you are as a character, people will care about you. People will truly care. One of the examples was a local wrestler, Miami Mike Walker, who would lose every match last year and got himself over just because people felt bad for him, and he has been doing really well for himself this year. That's just a local example. There's so many examples of people just getting themselves over in stories, and finishing the story. It is about like, you know, the beginning of, you know, going back to Dusty Rhodes. If he didn't, you know, quote unquote win the match, and, you know, thinking he won the title, then there's no story to finish at all.
I mean, for me, like, storytelling is everything because, dude, like, I don't know if you guys are like me, but like, my attention span sucks, right? So, like, if I don't have something to grab onto, it's just like, well, like, I don't want to say like there's like a lot of bathroom breaks sometimes, but dude, sometimes there's bathroom breaks. Like, that's just, yeah, exactly, right? That's just how it is. Funny enough, I think AEW like has a lot of gripping storylines, more so sometimes than WWE, because honestly, like, the Bloodline, love that. I think that angle's incredible. I love what they're doing with LA Knight. It's kind of funny how they just like up and dropped his past gimmick, and I was just like, sometimes like an explanation behind that stuff, but I get it, just want to kind of move on. But like that guy, he's really like making me think like, yo, like they really can build these stars they want. They can give them good stories, they can give you good reason to care. And you know, earlier we're just goofing off with all the yeah stuff, you know what I mean? There's a reason for that, you know what I'm saying? You mentioned the sympathetic baby face before the yeah, there was the woo woo woo, you know what I'm saying? He was a bum, but I loved him. I loved him watching Zach. He was my guy, you know what I mean? So you tell a good story, you get people invested, and it's just that. Sorry for him.
Do you guys think that LA Knight having that terrible gimmick at the beginning of his main roster run is making his storyline more interesting now?
Yeah, because it's night and day, right? It's night and day. It's like, who's this? Like, no offense, but I'm like a big fashion t-shirt on the food, you know what I'm saying? But now I can relate to this guy, you know what I'm saying? Got the badass shades on, the nice little sleeveless leather jackets. I'm like, this is my guy.
To the point of LA Knight too, do you remember one of his promos, however many weeks ago, he, you know, sometimes stumbles over his words, and I get so frustrated when people have the audacity to be like, oh, he flubbed, like, look, he can't even speak straight. Like, people are invested in the story and what he's doing and the character that he is. Like, he's incredible. Like, don't trip up on little things like that. The storytelling is the most important.
Exactly. Do you guys have like any favorite storylines over the years that like really captivated you, that really like got you invested?
Yeah, it is.
You know, I mean, I mentioned like my favorite storyline of all time. It wasn't on it was on and off, obviously, but Rock and Austin. And you know, people would say, "Oh, that's easy one to go to," but guys, that's what really like made me such a fan. You know what I mean? Like I can't help it. Like I own so many Rock shirts and Stone Cold merchandise, and I got that smoking skull belt. Obviously, it's a replica, you know what I'm saying? But damn, I love that thing. It's so badass. You know what I'm saying? As of late, though, I gotta say, I think what they're doing between again Cody and Reigns has really invested me. And even when they did the whole Sammy thing, I was like, I can't wait for this turn to happen. I can't wait for the switch up to happen. And it kept me coming back week after week because they didn't do it right away. They dragged that son gun out, and I was like, all right, that's fair. But when it happened, you just felt like, yeah, this was worth missing overnight for.
Mine really right now is still the Bloodline. I think the Bloodline, just the entire arc of it, is one of the best things that's happened in decades. So I'm very invested in that and all the layers of it because it keeps evolving. I know a lot of people will keep saying that it's stale, but I just don't understand why they can say that because first you had Sammy involved, and then Sammy was out, and all of the ways that it's evolved. I think it's just amazing. So the Bloodline for sure is definitely mine.
I feel like the one that I cried over, was when Sasha, who's not Mercedes, Sasha won the title finally, and I just wept. Like I was just like, you have worked so hard for this for so many years, and you finally get it. And not that I was preying on any downfall of any wrestler ever, but it was just like, it's finally the moment. Okay, hear me out. When someone just keeps winning and winning and winning and winning and winning and winning, and you're like, hey, stop.
Yeah.
But I agree with the Bloodline. As much as I am not a fan of the Bloodline, don't hurt me. I do agree that the storytelling is incredible. The Kevin Owens and Sammy storyline, you really kept watching to be like, when is it gonna happen?
Yeah.
On both sides. Who's gonna turn? What's gonna happen? And then a new character enters the ring, and you're like, whoa, where did you come from? So really, I do think that creative has stepped up their game immensely because you keep seeing the same rivalries, and I feel like the Bloodline add
versus Ray for the custody of Dom. I'm just kidding. Like, it's good though. It's like a guilty pleasure. Custody of a child. Like, that's so awesome. Okay, anyways. Objectively, I think the Bloodline storyline is the best storyline of all time. Stone Cold and The Rock is up there for me. But just to toss out like a modern era one that I think would not have been possible without the age of the IWC is the Daniel Bryan movement. I love that. I don't think that happens without the IWC. That's the beauty before the disgusting storm of the IWC. I love that story.
That's what I was gonna say. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I'll add more context to that. So when I was a kid watching that time, it was nearly 10 years ago. So I was a very, very short kid. So seeing somebody like Daniel Bryan, get on the rise, and that made me feel like I could be something more at that time. We love that, though. That's great. You're invested. It's great. It made me feel like I could be something more, and I could, pursue pro wrestling at the time. That was before I decided to wrestle and got 2 concussions. But that's one of the big storylines. Another one, more recent, one of my favorite recent ones that isn't the Bloodline and isn't WWE, has to be the unfortunate, unfinished storyline that could have truly been more. CM Punk and MJF. That could have been. That was so good. All the going back and forth. It was so good, and we almost had more of it, and then stuff happened. We'll get into more of that later on, as we get to the panel.
All right, I feel like what helps captivate people in wrestling is being able to relate to the different wrestlers. So let's get to the diversity and representation in wrestling, especially.
Yeah, women.
Growing up watching wrestling, again, like I said, I started watching it late 90s, early 2000s. I remember like the Divas era, and as a woman I grew up watching, like Lita and Trish were the first introduction to me of like, oh wow, they're actually in the ring and they're actually being involved in storylines that don't involve, getting completely naked, even though Trish was involved in many of that and then Lita was too later. But they didn't do it all of the time.
I was at the
now
where
looking
that
how
live
it's
sex act
evolved,
happened.
it's amazing how
Really?
it's
Yeah,
just
at Hershey, Pennsylvania.
the evolution of people like Becky Lynch and Young Velvet and people that are strong women that are champions and they don't have to
Few years, every pay-per-view I was watching with the same group of people, and the same group of people are not my people. But it truly was, the women's match is on. I'm gonna go pee. I'm gonna go smoke. I'm gonna go.
the bathroom break. You mean
It's still considered to be the bathroom break, right?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, y'all don't watch this match because it's like real good, and they're like, and I think it's still that way to this day, even though there's the push, there's the revolution that's happening.
Their attendants more critical of them too, I feel.
Yeah, no, it's very much like, she missed her elbow, she's the worst wrestler in the world, and it's like, what the?
Charlotte Bosch.
Oh, the botch. Yeah, well, and I think part of the issue also is being a woman in the industry means that you also have to be beautiful all the time. And when you see wrestlers get work done, that is all that is talked about. It's no longer about their wrestling moves, it's no longer about the gear that they're wearing, and suddenly what is that person at a beauty standard, which is really unfortunate. Around November last year, I started watching all the WrestleManias from the beginning, right? And I was really excited about this journey because I was like, I'm going to watch all the WrestleManias. I'm going to catch up. I'm going to get the lore that I missed while I was gone. And I started to count how many WrestleManias didn't have women in them. And it got to a point that I stopped watching WrestleManias because I was like, I forget this is a different time. This is when women didn't matter. And it hurt, it sucked. And there were women, but they were on the side of men, right? They weren't the standard. You weren't there to watch the women. Unless you were, but then if you were, it wasn't for the right reasons, And we're finally at an era where women didn't matter. Watching important. I mean, like, so many of the women that worked for that company didn't get to feel that way. Had to leave because they were, in fact, treated quite the opposite. And it is really cool to see women doing really cool things, doing the same things as men, in fact, the same moves, and then paying homage to Eddie Guerrero. You know, Sasha's my favorite. You're gonna hear a lot of references. But it is super important. I think when I started watching in 2015 again, I think had there not been the Four Horsewomen, I would not have watched wrestling. Maybe for the New Day, but without the Four Horsewomen, like, I think I probably would have been like, this isn't for me. And like, granted, they're all on their own paths now, but they're all successful in the industry in some way or another. And I think getting to see that has meant a lot to me, because I've been willing to go to events, and you know, I'm on this panel, and like, if it wasn't for the representation that we have in wrestling, I wouldn't be here.
I think it's cool too that the people that are kind of on top of the, or the women that are on top of the mount right now, are women that are my age. So our generation of women are really the ones that watched at the time that we did, and were in love with it during the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression era, and they were the ones that were like, I'm gonna do this. I don't care that I'm not seeing all of the women in the ring right now, and they're not necessarily on like the main card, or they're not the main event. I'm gonna do it anyway, and I don't care how hard it is. Like the Bailey and Bianca and Sasha and just all of those women that were just like trailblazers, that I am really proud to be part of that generation. Like, we changed it, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, we had a slide earlier about like the different like how WWE and like wrestling compares like today, like the boom. Sorry, Attitude Era fans. I think we're in the best era of professional wrestling, and I think it's because of the difference in the women's division specifically. Because women main eventing wrestling, the main eventing takeovers, match of the year candidates. And then you compare it to the Attitude Era, oh great, Austin Rock, amazing, but where were the women?
Doing Hell in a Cell matches.
Yeah. One of my favorite female wrestlers of all time is Awesome Kong. Like, I call she's an absolute badass, right? That's all absolute badass. So, you know, like, she actually knew how to work. Shots to anybody.
Thank you. Oh, so good. Great.
Yeah, I think it's also really telling that we have a lot of work to do. You know, seeing female wrestlers tweet our match got cut. Still to this day, they're the first cut if there's time constraints. And it's like, okay, so we're getting the same storyline, the same people again, but we didn't have time for one women's match. Or the women's match is 3 minutes and they're told, hey, you have to end it. And it's like, we're still fighting.
And they're not scared to fight for it, though, because Becky Lynch just makes lemons out of it. Yeah, lemonade out of lemons, not lemons out of lemons.
Yeah. And I think it is really cool to see women that look like me. And, you know, Zelina Vega is a huge inspiration to me as a Latina. And getting to see that representation, and like every time she creates like new gear, I'm like, man, I want to be as cool as Zelina Vega. And like, I think it's really, really cool to see more and more diversity coming into the environment, because I think if you look at the Attitude Era specifically, or if you look at even the Divas Revolution business, there's not a lot of diversity even in the women's division. And now we are seeing more and more diversity. Jade, I will just not stop talking about Jade, because like just watching her get that respect was probably the coolest thing that I've seen that company do in years. And that's probably because I'm a woman, but it's also like, it was really cool to just see someone valued at such a height when they are in two different categories that oppress them.
I do want to add one thing. I didn't want to step on any toes. My manager did inform me that I was talking too much. And I need to let other people speak more, but I will say this. So, over the past few years, I've had the I've been so fortunate with who I've gotten to meet. In fact, I mod for WWE Hall of Famer Medusa at twitch.tv/Medusa_Rocks. She definitely told me to say that, but that's actually how I met Alicia, was through a raid to GPTV. And we absolutely love the people at GPTV, so shout out to GPTV. They're killing it. Talk about women's revolution and gaming, that's it. So, but Medusa's truly like a huge game changer in pro wrestling. Like, she'll joke around. She's like, she still has the WWF Women's Championship from when she got fired, and it's just, it always brings just a smile on my face. It's just so funny when she's like, I'm still a champion whenever she posts on Twitter or Instagram. She'll have a post of her with a belt, and she still like keeps herself in great shape, just waiting for the call to get one final match, whether whoever it's going to be. I know there's a lot of fans that want to see it.
Awesome. Let's continue talking about the diversity in wrestling.
Yeah. Effie. Woo!
This was the slide that was made by Heel Josh. In fact, he didn't give me specific quotes, but when we did talk, he did tell me one of the things that was important about LGBTQ in pro wrestling is that what it means. It adds a whole there's a whole new section of pro wrestling for that community, especially with the post that you see for Effie's Big Gay Brunch. It truly is a whole new style. It's more known now. Like everybody, and it started with Darren Young, Fred Rosser, who's now in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was the first openly gay man in WWE, and it kind of paved the way for somebody like Pat Patterson to finally come out after 60 years of everybody in the business knowing that he was gay, but he finally had the courage to open up about it.
I don't have too much to add here, but I will say, what we're seeing today with this was not something that you would see even as early as less than 10 years ago. So there's been a tremendous amount of advancement in the acceptance of LGBTQ plus and diversity in professional wrestling, because it very much was a boys locker room in the ruthless aggression era, in the attitude era. So we should also point out the downfalls of it in the past to really appreciate how much it's advanced in today's professional wrestling landscape.
Absolutely, truly. Talking about, transgender wrestlers like Giselle Shaw and Kid Bandit who are killing it. Kid Bandit's really killing it on the indie scene, for those who know who Kid Bandit is.
Yeah.
Giselle Shaw is killing it in Impact Wrestling. It's just crazy to see where everything's evolved. And that's what I was talking about earlier. That
Dark Sheet.
Is something for everybody in pro wrestling. That's what makes it so special. So if you really, if you hear somebody say, oh, I hate pro wrestling, well, have you found out what you may like? Because there may be something for you in wrestling.
One of my favorite things about wrestling in general is the drama that comes along with it. So let's go ahead and talk about that.
Well, he's been waiting for this.
Alright, so here's my thing. I think one thing that the internet has done for us is you get spoilers for everything basically if you look in the right places. But also you're tapped into everything that's happening in the business. Here's my thing, okay? You might disagree with this. CM Punk did nothing wrong. Okay? CM Punk did nothing wrong. And that's not a shot at the elite because I think they're talented too. Okay, I think the Young Bucks can switch it up a little bit, but they're still talented, okay? But here's the thing. CM Punk legitimately, I met this brother in Chicago, a C2E2 years ago. He's a nice guy. I believe this guy really cares about the business. I believe he legitimately wanted to make AEW the premier product. And I will tell you this, I used to watch AEW sparingly. When he came back, okay, I was tapped in every week, okay? Yeah, he had to go away for a little while, you know what I'm saying? When he came back again to Collision, he had his own show, okay? Him and Samoa Joe's gonna be a magnificent feud they were building up right there. And then what happened? Tony got scared. He
feared for his life.
He feared for his life. And I just have to say, as much as I do love AEW, okay, and Tony's random Twitter rants as well, I just thought he made the worst decision in firing CM Punk because that is a ratings grabber, that is a ratings getter, that is somebody the fans resonate with, and I still watch, but it definitely, like you said, somebody mentioned the potential with MJF, you know what I mean? What could have been with that? Because that's a story that was never really finished. You think about it. You think about the backstage brawl that happened, or injury, stuff like that. It sucks. But man, I really hope that these rumors they can tease with CM Punk coming back to WWE are true. Just because I think he's still got plenty left in the tank. And again, he did nothing wrong.
It's a hot take, and I like it. I agree.
I admittedly don't concern myself too much with the backstage drama, but I think it's super interesting that, we have all of the those storylines and things that we do in wrestling, and that's what we're watching. But then there's this other layer of, what's happening backstage, like who said what, who's doing what, that actually draws more ratings too. So you kind of get two separate sides of entertainment. You get what they're actually doing, in the ring, and then you get CM Punk and the Young Bucks backstage fighting and trying to figure out who did what. So I think that it's, I hate to say that it's good for drawing people to the product, but in a way it kind of is, because it gets people invested to see like, oh well, who's actually going to cut back?
Well, only, I don't mean to cut you off, but only if they give you the payoff, right? We didn't get the payoff. Like, they put them on 2 different shows. Like, imagine, like, that match, like, happening at Lemon. Like, we already know how massive that was. Like, just think of how many more ratings they could have got. Like, you gotta, like, people already know what happened. You have to be willing to play ball and do business. And if you want to compete with the WWE, I think that was their best route to go. But I know all parties involved with it, essentially. So it's unfortunate. But I mean, you gotta turn, tragedy into, I don't know, ratings or whatever.
Do you think it's weird that we don't hear drama of like the backstage of like the filming of Avengers Endgame, but it's like this is just part of the culture? Because it's just entertainment at the end of the day, and yet, we don't hear the drama in the backstage of the Breaking Bad set, but we hear the drama as a Breaking Bad fan over there, I'm assuming. But not only do we hear the drama, but it's a draw for websites, it's a draw for tabloids, for people doing TikToks, Twitter, and we just gobble it up. But it's not normal. If you think of it, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it, but it's funny to point out that like it's kind of a unique thing within its medium.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I'm trying to get booked. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just being fair to wrestling. I'm just out of drama.
Well, amidst all the drama, there's a lot of good that comes from wrestling. So why don't we go to the charity work and pro wrestling?
This is a very important slide. I feel like everything's wrong. In fact, I always wear my Connor's Cure bracelets wherever I go, every day. In fact, I had lost one, and I went to a show back, it was last December, and I was fortunate to have been gifted really close to the front row ticket from a friend, and I got another bracelet. And I just find it to be so important. But besides that, Connor's Cure is so important. It was also a big part, of us, Daniel Bryan's whole story at WrestleMania was getting that win for Connor. Connor wanted, that was the last time he got to see, pro wrestling live. That was all he wanted to do, was see Daniel Bryan win the big one, finish his story. That was a big part of that. And then Make-A-Wish, that's also, a pretty big deal. And, Sammy for Syria, which recently has become a huge part, and we see more of it with online, and Sammy really getting to promote it, especially with stars like, Edge, willingly, just with the kindness of his heart, just giving his final, match gear from WWE to donate to charity, which is absolutely incredible. That's what it's all about when you're like a public figure like that, when you're a superstar. You really do go above and beyond to help the people who are in need. And that's what I like about the charity work. And how could I forget about charity work without John Cena and Make-A-Wish? I know he's your favorite wrestler.
Okay, I guess I'm jumping in now. Look, I'm a firm believer that keep your booze, okay? John Cena is the greatest of all time, okay? And I believe that his biggest differentiator, because yes, Stone Cold's amazing, Hulk Hogan has his legacy, you got an argument for The Rock, Roman Reigns, acknowledge it if you want, but he is the one guy that has been able to step out of the world of professional wrestling in the ring and grow it while not stepping out of his wrestling persona by doing all this stuff with Make-A-Wish. I think that is his biggest differentiator and one of his biggest contributions to the planet, honestly. All the cool things that he's done in the ring mean nothing compared to the 600 plus wishes that he's done for all these kids. So Johnson's the best.
That's the most wishes ever granted. It's insane.
I think it's really important for people that are superheroes on the screen to be superheroes in real life. You know, not wrestlers. Some wrestlers get paid emotively, some wrestlers don't. And I think that it is really, really important for them to take the time to do everything that you see all the time. I know that WWE does a lot of veteran work, a lot of charity work. They've recently dipped into Pride, especially with Sonya Deville. There's been a lot of really good contributions from wrestling that, like, as much as the wrestling community gives to wrestling companies all the time, I feel like it's their one opportunity to really give back outside of entertainment. And I feel like, especially in the last couple of years, there's been more of a focus on it, better marketing for their programs. You know, if you go to a show, there are often tables set up that are like, hey, if you want to contribute to this charity through this program. And I think it's really remarkable to see how much charity work has been done, specifically in the last 5 years, because of the community.
It's so important in today's day and age, I think, especially with all of people's financial hardships, for a company that is as massive as WWE is, and even the charity work that AEW does, for the things that